Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me. I know it's late over here on the East Coast, but I hope a lot of my people on the West Coast can get involved with the training today because this is going to be one of the most valuable trainings that I do in terms of helping you achieve goals that you never thought that you could achieve or goals that you have tried to achieve a lot in the past and you never been able to do it. So that's what this is all about. So I want to first of all welcome any new members to my group. I know I had some new people join just because they wanted to be a part of this training. So welcome to the group. And people that have been a part of the group for a long time, you've seen me talk before. Like I said, this is one of my favorite trainings I'm going to be doing in the near future because it really is going to dig deeper into why you're not getting to where you want to be. And oftentimes people think I'm crazy when I say things like, oh yeah, the fall going into the holiday season is the great time to start a kind of weight loss program because they want to push it off until the holiday is over. And I always call this kind of like damage control, if you will, because oftentimes if you're going into the holiday season with wanting to lose, weight or, create these healthy habits, the holidays just, become way harder for you. You have way more to lose after the holidays, and this, overwhelm that you feel, this frustration that you feel is exacerbated once the holiday season is over. And so I'm trying to prevent you from any additional stress in your life. And that is what this training is going to do. It's going to prevent stress in your life, because I know you're in this group. It's because you have been so stressed out with weight loss in the past. You have tried for years and years and years. You've done all kinds of programs. You've tried to create these healthy habits. You think you know what to eat, you think you know what kind of working out you need to do, but something's just not clicking. You're not making those changes because you're missing some key pieces. And that's what I'm going to cover on today's training. And if you join me until the end, I am going to have an opportunity for you to ask me questions in order to best serve you and help you achieve any goals you have for not just the month of October, but to close out 2019 and to go into 2020 on a strong foot. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And so what I want to talk about tonight, okay, is different weight loss approaches, okay, and why some people are really successful and why a lot of people, an overwhelming majority of the people, are not successful. And really what it comes down to is the approach. Okay. And oftentimes, guys, I'll be really honest with you, it doesn't even have much to do with nutrition. And it doesn't really have as much to do with the kind of exercise that they're doing. There's a way more than that. And that's what I'm going to tap into today. Okay. But what I typically see, and I've been in the fitness industry, I've been a personal trainer, group exercise, I've been in nutrition for a while now. And what I typically see in the field is that most people want a quick fix. Okay. We all, we want quick results, right? That's very normal. We don't want to wait a long time to see change because that's when we lose motivation. So a lot of us want a quick fix whenever possible. But some of us, okay, the ones that are successful long-term are the ones that look ahead. Okay, and they are the ones that are successful. And it's the people that want the quick fix. It's the people that are looking for instant gratification, instant results. They ignore the future reality and they focus on just getting relief right in that moment. Okay, and that's the problem, oftentimes, people focus too much on food, right? Well, I need to have the exact right diet plan, this worked for my friend or my mom, so I'm going to follow the same thing too. And we get so fixated on the foods. We get so fixated on, well, what kind of workouts do I need to do in order to lose the weight, or how often do I have to work out? I need to get myself a trainer or whatever. We get so fixated on those things. Or moreover, we get so fixated and focused on the failure. Okay, to achieve our goals despite doing exercise and despite eating properly, we get so fixated on the failure instead of the real reason why you're failing, right? And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in today's training, how oftentimes people focus so much on food and on fitness because it's very easy to do that. There is so much information out there, all different kinds of diets. Everyone has an opinion, right? So many recipes. There's all kinds of fitness options out there. So it's just easy, right? It's easy to find information, and so we just gravitate to that. What's not easy to find, okay, is the real problem. Why people can't stick to a really strict diet for a long period of time. Why these products don't work. Why does it matter if you work out 6 days a week, you're still not seeing results? No one wants to talk about that, right? And that's the hard part. And that's oftentimes, what people I work with, they're uncomfortable talking about that at first. But once we uncover that problem, this whole process that you're going through becomes so much easier. And that's how you're going to accomplish your goals in 2019 and go into 2020 strong. okay? So what I'm gonna share with you right now is my top strategy for lasting change. And that strategy, guys, is self-reflection. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, that's the strategy, you know, that's what it is. And my answer to you is yes. I'm a fitness fanatic, okay? I love exercise, I love healthy eating, but without self-reflection, those things don't even matter, okay? And what we're gonna discuss today is why you need to take a deeper look into yourself using self-reflection, okay? And this is like a really essential form of self-care. If you've heard me talk before, I talk a lot about the importance of self-care, not getting your nails done, not getting a massage, that's a different kind of self-care, but like a real deep look, a deep dive into your mind, okay? And this is what it takes to achieve real change, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare self-reflection concept to how you might be operating right now in your life, okay? So what is self-reflection? Self-reflection is getting to the root cause of your struggle, all right? So for example, if you know you struggle with overeating, okay, you have a hard time limiting yourself, you know, you can't just have one cookie, you have to have 5, or you can't just have a cup of ice cream, you need to have a gallon of ice cream, right? Or you can't just have a few French fries, you have to have, you know, 2 large fries, whatever the case might be. Maybe overeating is a problem you have. Maybe it's emotional eating. You know, every afternoon at 3 o'clock, you have to have chocolate, or after dinner, you absolutely have to have something sweet. And I'll tell you what, guys, a lot of people, they think that's like normal. Like, oh, I still have a sweet tooth. You know, that is linked to some kind of need, some kind of emotion in your life, right? And so that is an example of emotional eating. And oftentimes people don't want to talk about emotional eating. And I'm not saying that everyone has an issue with emotional eating, but things like that are linked to emotional eating, okay? So that might be an underlying problem that you need to work on, okay? It's something I had to work on 100%, and my biggest trigger, guys, was stress eating, okay? And that's another problem that I see in a lot of people that I work with, and I was a stress eater, okay? Whenever I would get stressed, right? Like I was working really, really long days in the past, and I was always rushing around, and stress eating was a big problem for me. But I couldn't understand why I didn't lose weight, because I was eating really healthy, I was exercising, but I could not handle my stress eating because I never dealt with it. And then when I did deal with it, now I don't really deal with it anymore, okay? Stress in your life. So even if you're not a stress eater, but you have all this stress in your life that just weighs down on your body, okay, that is going to make the weight loss journey way harder than it needs to be. Even if you're doing all of the right things with food and fitness, if you have so much stress in your life, that is going to play a role in your struggle, right, with your ability to lose this weight or create those healthy habits. I don't want this to be only about weight loss, because as you guys know, I'm very big on health, and I want everyone I work with and everyone that listens and being part of this group to improve your health. That's health as well, right? So I'm gonna talk about that too. If you know that you need to exercise more, okay, but you just like don't have the motivation, you know, why is the motivation not there? What is missing in your life? What struggle is deep rooted in your soul, right? That is preventing you from getting to the gym or going out and being more active, right? Lack of consistency. If you are unable to stick to something for a long period of time, okay, well, maybe you're trying things that are really strict, but even sometimes, like, we just lose interest. We're just like, oh, like, it's just not worth it to me. Like, I just want to go eat Five Guys, you know, a few days a week and not be told what to do. Like, it's just not worth it, right? And, you know, what's that apathy coming from? I hear oftentimes like, well, I'm unmotivated. I'm just lazy. I don't know if I care enough. There's a reason you don't care enough, because I know you're here because you care. So that's not the issue. But it's like, what's going on down here, right, and up here that makes you not care? That's the root cause that you have to figure out. Right? So like I said, lack of motivation, okay? Lack of motivation to do things you know you should do, but you just don't do it. You know, we have to get to the root cause. So for example, if you know, like, you need to limit certain foods and beverages, like you really shouldn't drink a whole bottle of wine when you go out to dinner, but, you know, you find yourself doing that more often than you should, you know, well, why is that, right? We got to really dig into that a little bit. So self-reflection is going on the search to why you struggle in your life. And when you get that answer, you guys, you then have a clear path that makes sense instead of trying a lot of things that may or may not work for years and years and years. I've literally talked to people, guys, that have been trying for 20, 30, 40 plus years, okay, to lose this weight and have a healthy life. And it's because they're just scratching the surface. They're not digging deep, All right, they're not doing any kind of self-reflection, because really, guys, like, no program out there, I'm sorry, doesn't dig deep into the problem, right? And that's what I want to help you guys with today, right? That's what this training is going to be about. So self-reflection allows you to align with the plan that makes sense until it works, okay? Because just because you do self-reflection one day doesn't mean you're going to just start instantly getting results, okay? It's something you have to work on consistently. You have to trust the process of self-reflection. Just like you guys hear that in the gym, like, you got to trust the process, right? That's such a trainer thing to say. Lots of instructors say that. If you've ever been in the bodybuilding world, that's something we say a lot as well. But it's the same thing with self-reflection, looking into your soul. It's not a one and done thing. You can't do one workout a week or one workout a month and expect to build muscle. You can't have one healthy meal a week or one healthy meal a month and expect to lose weight and improve your health. It's just not happening. Same thing with your self-reflection. You have to dig deep and be willing to do it, right? And really understand that that is what it takes to get to where you want to be, right? So I'm going to point out a couple things to you guys, like how people usually try to change. And you might find yourself like in this series of steps, how you try to make change in your life, okay? Because this is what I oftentimes hear from people and why they're unsuccessful. And not only, if they lose the weight, but why they can't keep it off, right? Why it never stays off. So how people usually try to change is, number one, they just kind of skim the surface of all different solutions, okay? They try some things, but move on to the next one. They never develop any consistency because they're so fixated on diet or exercise, and they never figure out the reason, that gives you the problem in the first place. And then since you don't figure out the reason, you're frustrated, you end up feeling dejected, like, oh, like another failed attempt at dieting. I'm never going to get to working out consistently. I'm never going to see results. Because when you only scratch the surface of these solutions, you're only addressing part of the problem, okay? That's the issue, right? So for example, let's say you're eating too much in one day. And guys, even if you're eating healthy, if you're eating too much healthy food, you're gonna gain weight, because healthy food has calories, right? Like, I talk about avocado toast as like a health food that oftentimes is causing us weight gain, for example. Smoothies is a great example of that too. So, just because you're eating a lot of healthy foods doesn't mean that you're doing the right thing for weight loss, right? So, let's say you're eating too much, for example, right? The surface solution, okay, what I mean by scratching the surface is that you're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna eat less. I'm gonna eat like 800 calories a day. Maybe you'll go to 1,200 calories. Who knows? That sounds terrible in my opinion. But you're just gonna eat less, okay? But is it that easy? Is it that easy just to cut your calories in half or, over half? That's like less than a third of what I eat a day, seriously. So let's say that's your goal. Like, all right, I'm just gonna eat less. Then you initially cut down your food, okay? But then ultimately, guys, like, you result to your old habits, because who in their right mind can sustain a life like that, living on 800 calories? And like, I've worked with people who have done that, and I'm like, congratulations. Like, I don't know how you did it for more than 2 days, because I've done it and it sucks, right? So, that is something you just revert back to your old results. Like, or your old habits. That's not sustainable. And the only way, or this only addresses, a contributing factor, okay? You're eating too much, right? But that doesn't work long-term, because you're not addressing why I'm eating too much, right? Like, why am I doing it? I know what I'm doing, but why am I doing it, right? And some people are like, well, I'm just really, really hungry, and that's why I eat a lot. And in some cases, that's true. Like, if you wait too long to eat, yeah, you might overeat. But oftentimes it's more than just you're waiting too long to eat. In my experience, guys, that is usually more than that, right? So that's an issue. You have to come to understand why you're overeating, all right? A root cause is different than a contributing factor. Like, I know what I'm doing wrong, but you don't know why. The why is the root cause, all right? It's different because if you remove the root cause, if you remove the why, it will eliminate the problem, right? End of story. Problem solved. That is a lot deeper than just eating less, right? Like, that's just such a simple answer. Eat less, move more. How many times have you heard that? I mean, I've heard that so much, and like, easier said than done, right? I see all these like fitness, memes like on my news feed. I hate seeing that. It's like, yeah, no kidding. But then why are a lot of dieters failing? It's because that's not easy, right? Without understanding why you have the problem, you can't find the right answer to the problem. It's just, you're not going to find it. All right. You're going to feel like you're trying and you're getting no results. And I hear that, guys, like every single day. I've been trying this, I've been doing this, and nothing is working. Nothing has lasted long term. Even if people have lost weight, they're not keeping it off. All right. And that's because they haven't dealt with the bigger issue. Or you're trying things that are generic. You're trying things that are cookie cutter, one size fits all. This person did it, so it must work for me. I've heard good things, so I'm just going to do it. Like, that's just generic, right? That plan has no knowledge about who you are and what you need to be successful. Also, oftentimes, like when you're trying these things, these generic things, you're just putting a Band-Aid, okay, on the surface. You're just putting a Band-Aid on the scratch, okay? But on the inside, guys, you're still hurting, all right? There's still something here that you're not dealing with, all right? So like when it comes to overeating, for example, I'm just gonna use that as an example here. That was something that I used to struggle with. What drives you to eat when you're not hungry, okay? Or unable to limit certain foods. Like if you know that you shouldn't be eating sugar, like sugar causes inflammation, sugar makes me feel like crap, it causes my blood sugar to crash, and then I have no energy, it makes me jittery, it rots my teeth, like whatever obviously there's a million problems with sugar, but like if you know that you shouldn't be eating it, like why are you unable to limit it? Or why are you so adverse to trying an alternative that is healthier, that's going to be so much better for you and still be sweet? Why are we so resistant to that change, right? If you know that Five Guys burger is not good for you, but you can still have a burger, why are you, restricting the Five Guys burger? Why are you not giving into that all the time and not trying something new? Why are we resistant to change? Okay, so that's something we have to deal with, okay? Why you're overeating all the time, right? There's an underlying cause. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, is this is a training. I'm gonna teach you, okay, how to do a self-reflection, right? So I'm gonna use my little whiteboard. Some of you guys know I was a teacher for 10 years, so I still have lots of educational equipment. I love teaching, and so I have a little whiteboard here, and I'm gonna give you guys 3 steps to self-reflection. Okay, and this is one of the action steps that I'm going to leave you with today for you to get started on achieving your goals, not just for this month, but for the rest of the year and into the new year. Okay, so I have a little board. So if you have a piece of paper, you have your iPhone or whatever by you, you can jot this down. I'm going to go through each of these steps. Okay, so step number 1 is going to be, you're going to look in the past to observe patterns. Okay, I'm going to pull this back up in a minute, but I'm going to talk about that first point, okay? So you're going to look into the past to observe your patterns, okay? Your patterns, your behaviors, those are all things that we need to look at. And my guess is that maybe you have done this in the past, so you're kind of cognizant of your past behaviors, like you tend to overeat, for example. But my guess is that you kind of tip your toes into the water and then run away from your past behaviors. Like you don't want to deal with them. You're like, yeah, well, I can change that. So why do I have to think about it? I know what I need to do. I'm just going to stop eating as much. Like, duh, right? But like, you're not really dealing with the past, right? Some people, also don't look into their past because they're afraid of what they're going to find. They're afraid that they're going to have to deal with some trauma in their life, deal with some emotions, and they don't want to deal with it, okay? Or, in that case, like they don't give it enough time. They don't really let that pain sink in and really deal with it. Or you're afraid, okay, that you're going to try to dig into your past, you're not going to find anything, but there's nothing there, right? And then you're going to think that it's you. You're going to think that it's your hormones or it's your metabolism or you're just lazy and you're just like unmotivated to try to change. I hear that all the time. I hear all those reasons all the time, right? And oftentimes, guys, it has nothing to do with any of those things. And self-reflection is a big part of what I teach. And every single time, right, I work with someone that is willing to do self-reflection, I always find something. Even if they don't realize it, they're like, whoa. Like it's just a matter of like willing to do it. Okay. And so that's step number 1 is to look into past behaviors. So I'm going to pull up my board. Okay. And you guys can write this down. Step number 2 is, you guys see that? Okay. Step number 2, and you guys can comment here on the side. Hi, Beth. I just saw your message and I see I've got Nancy and Sonia and Nikki. Welcome, you guys. You can write anything in here that you need to, and I'm going to answer some questions at the end. Okay. But step number 2 is to look ahead and predict the future. Okay, and some of you might know that as visualization. So visualization is a big part of, you know, meditating, for example, and self-care, and, you know, visualizing your future to make it happen, manifestation, all of that's under the same umbrella. So that really does help with, you know, achieving any goal that you have, whether it be weight loss or creating a healthy habit, moving more, whatever your habit might be. So if you keep scratching the surface, like I said, you know, not really digging deep, like you're not going to solve the problem, right? And so something I want to say too, you know, it's so good to look ahead. And the reason why I say that is because you might have heard about this, like the stock market, for example, that past performance does not predict future results. Okay, past performance does not predict future results. Past performance, okay, can help us understand why we're not getting results, but it does not predict future results. Just because you were unsuccessful in the past doesn't mean you can't have success in the future. All right, so that's something I hear oftentimes too when I talk to people that want to lose weight. They're like, well, I've tried a million things, so how is this going to work if I haven't been able to do it in 20 years, right? Well, I mean, maybe you haven't tried the right things for 20 years, and that's usually what it is. You haven't dug deeper. You haven't done self-reflection. You haven't had the right plan, right? And so you haven't had all the pieces that work. So that's why you're unsuccessful, because you're so focused on the past and you're dwelling in your circumstances. You're dwelling in that sorrow, that frustration. You're so trapped in that negativity that you can't visualize the future. You can't visualize yourself 40 or 50 pounds down, moving more often, actually liking healthy foods, you know, still enjoying the Five Guys once in a while, and knowing that you can enjoy it and not feel guilty, right? Like that's what you need to visualize. Focusing on that and getting rid of the fear and those circumstances that are way in the past. Right? So look ahead into the future, because you can change the future. And if you stay stuck where you are, if you keep trying the same thing and thinking like, oh, I'll figure it out at some point, you know, what happens if you keep doing what you're doing, right? Nothing's going to happen. You're going to stay where you are. And that's what some people do when the holiday season comes up. Like, oh, well, I'm just going to wait until January comes. Maybe January 15th sounds good. It is so much harder in January, guys. You know that. I know that. So it's never there's never a wrong time to start, is my point, okay? As long as you're looking ahead and visualizing, you're going to get there. But you have to be able to look ahead and stop living in the past, okay? Never backward, always forward. One of my favorite quotes. All right, step number 3. I'm going to pull up my little whiteboard. This is like a beat up whiteboard, my God. All right, number 3. Determine what must change to see results. All right, so determine what must change to see results. All right, and so I want to point this out real quickly. While you see all 3 steps up here, this is why a lot of people fail. And this is why I say that you can't scratch the surface, because what people typically do, and what I'm guessing you must have done, is you probably skip step 1 and 2. You probably just go to step 3. And that's what a lot of people do. They just go here. They're like, oh, well, I just need to eat better. Like, I need to work out 5 days a week. I have to go do CrossFit. And that's just going to make me lose weight. That's it. Right? Or I just have to give up ice cream. Like, that's just going to be really help me. No, like, you cannot skip 1 and 2. You have to do 1 and 2 to get to 3. There's just no shortcut. And that's the problem. Everyone just skims the surface. They put their toes into the water and then run away, because this is a lot harder than it appears, because you're not doing these 2 things most likely. Okay, so you guys see that? Determine what must change to see results. So what that means is that you need to find a solution and commit to it, okay? And I also want to talk here a little bit about the difference between being interested in something and being committed to something, because there is a vast difference, all right, between being interested and being committed. Because I talk to people every day, and some people I talk to are interested, and there are some that are like, I'm ready, like, let's do this, all right? Interested means that you try until it gets hard. Okay, you only do it when you're interested. Okay, then you give up when you're like, whatever, and then you just try something new. Okay, and then you just keep longing for results, and you're frustrated because you don't have them, and you just wind up at square one again. Committed. All right, you see how excited I get when I say committed, because commitment is like the key to success, right? And that's what creates consistency. But, you know, committed means that you are willing to do whatever it takes, guys, whatever. You dive deeper. You stop chasing ideas and you take committed action. You don't question things that must be done. You don't think that it's silly. You don't think that it's not going to work for you. If you have a plan, if you know a plan that is just, solid and is just proven to work, right? You do all steps. You don't pick and choose what you want to do. That's just not how it works, right? It's like, if you want to lose weight, well, I'm just going to work out. I'm not going to eat healthy, and I'm just going to lose weight. It doesn't happen. It doesn't. Guys, I've done group exercise for years. Like, I see people that think that every day. It just doesn't happen. So committed, remember, you want to be committed, not just interested, okay? Something else I want to point out, you've probably heard that phrase, like there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? And what that really means in life, guys, is that anything you want that's important to you requires an investment of some sort or of multiple things. So for example, you might have to invest your time, okay? You have to plan ahead, for example, when it comes to weight loss or creating a healthy habit. You have to make that commitment, right? And you have to put some time aside. I'm not saying put aside hours and hours, but like just make that time, all right? The people that make the time are the ones that are successful, not people that find the time. Like, oh, I'll find it somehow. No, you make the time. That's when you're committed. Finding time is interested. Making time is commitment. That's the difference there, okay? Energy, right? You're gonna have to do some like real soul searching, right? And just really think about your whys and think about like, why is this important to you? Okay, and if it's not that important to you, that's probably a reason why this is not happening for you, right? Because if it's not important to you, it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna make the time. You're not gonna put energy into it. So yeah, you're gonna have to put some energy into this, okay? Thinking, whatever is asked of you to do, right? And then yeah, sometimes there's money involved. Obviously, there's like a financial investment, whatever that choice might be, because guys, there is a cost for change, okay? And then guys, I also want you to understand too that there is a cost for not changing, right? What's higher? Oftentimes what I found is that there is a higher cost for not changing, right? Your happiness, your health, your confidence in yourself, your longevity, your quality of life, right? All of those things, that's just like priceless. So if you are struggling with your whys, if you're still like interested, think about that. Think about like what the cost is for not changing, okay? And if you're on the fence about making any of these investments, whether it's time, energy, or money, I want you to pull out a sheet of paper. Okay, I'm going to take you through another activity right now. I'm totally playing the teacher card right now. I want you to pull out a sheet of paper and I want you to complete the following activity with me. And this is something that I've done to help people realize the cost of taking action versus the cost of not taking action. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I want your piece of paper to look like. I have another whiteboard, you guys. Okay, so if you have a piece of paper, fantastic. If you don't, you can just take a mental note of what this little graphic organizer looks like. And so it's a piece of paper and it's divided into 4 quadrants, okay? And the top left quadrant is you're gonna write the cost of making changes, okay? The right is the benefits of making changes. And so what I mean by, making changes, it could be the cost of weight loss, okay? Or the cost of creating a healthy habit, or whatever your problem is, whatever you're struggling with, that's gonna be the making change, okay? And then down here is going to be the cost of not making those changes, okay? And then over here on the right is the benefit of not making changes. Okay, so this is a cost-benefit spreadsheet. Okay, so the costs and benefits of losing weight or making those healthy habits versus the cost of not doing it. Okay, or what I call like still dealing with your drama. Because let's be serious, guys. Like weight loss is dramatic, right? It is traumatic in many cases, right? It is so frustrating. There are so many emotions. I know people that literally like have the most anxiety over their body every day, right? And so that's traumatic, in my opinion. So like the cost of dealing with your drama or getting, or keeping your drama. That's what this is all about, okay? So I'm gonna give you some examples of this, all right? So for example, the cost of losing weight, all right? Or the cost of creating a healthy habit, the cost of committing to my weight loss, the cost of dealing with my stress or my anger. I hear that one a lot too, whatever that is, okay? I want you to acknowledge these up here, all right? But I don't want you to focus on these, because when you focus on the cost too much, Then you get scared. You're like, oh, well, I don't want to deal with this. You get overwhelmed. This stresses you out. And then you just don't do anything. You stay stuck. So I don't want you to focus on these. I want you to just acknowledge them. So I'll give you a couple of examples of what would go in this category. Okay. So awareness of what you're doing. So let's say you're like, okay, like I'm going to clean up my diet. Like, okay, you're just going to accept that you're doing it and move on. You're not going to say like, oh, I'm cleaning up my diet. I can't eat Cheetos every day. God, my life sucks. Or, you know, that's what happens. We just focus so much on what we're giving up that we don't focus on the benefits of making change. So I want you to acknowledge these, but don't focus on them. You know, or another one that could go here is like saying no to yourself sometimes. Saying no to yourself sometimes, guys, is not a bad thing. Right? It's like, okay, if I go, I'm wearing Lilly Pulitzer. I live in South Florida. I wear Lilly a lot. But I can't go into Lilly Pulitzer and buy everything I want, right? Because first of all, it's super expensive. Number two, like I want a cloth that's not all freaking, you know, crazy colors, right? I need some diversity. So saying no is not a bad thing, right? I can't have everything I want, right? So, you know, don't get afraid. Don't be afraid of saying no and dwell on that. Right? Don't be a victim of the circumstance. Realize that it's going to make you stronger. Yeah, maybe you have to plan ahead a little bit. Okay, that's something that some people are like, oh, well, I don't have time for that. I don't want to make time for it. Well, failing to plan is failing to, or God, sorry guys, it's getting late here tonight. So failing to plan is planning to fail, right? So like I said, don't fixate on these. Realize like, yeah, I have some things in my life I have to do, but they're important to me. And what you're going to do is you're going to focus on the benefits. You're going to focus on the benefits of making these changes. And for some people, the benefits is self-reflection. Because I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't want to do self-reflection. I don't have time to journal. I don't have time to, you know, meditate or visualize. There are lots of ways to self-reflect, guys. There's multiple ways. But, you know, a lot of people don't want to make the time for that. They don't think it's valuable. I was an English teacher for 10 years. Like, you know how many kids roll their eyes at me when I talk to them about journaling? I'm used to it. So even when adults do it, I'm like, I know it's beneficial. And it works. I get people results, end of story. So the benefits of doing things that you might not want to do, okay? You feel proud. You're like, wow, like I actually did that and it was hard and I didn't like it, but I did it. How many things in your life do you have to do that you don't want to do, but you feel proud because you did it, all right? That's an example. You strengthen your ability to keep your word to yourself. That is a benefit of making change. If you say, I'm going to lose 40 pounds, and, you know, like, yeah, I might have to do a couple things over here. There's some costs involved, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to hold my word. How empowering is that? We talk about self-confidence, and so many people I talk to are like, well, I just want more confidence in myself. Losing the weight and making these healthy choices in your life, that is one of the best ways to create confidence. Because if you can do that, you can do anything in your life, right? Weight loss is one of the hardest things on this earth to do. I'm fully convinced of that, right? I've gone through, 7 years of college. I've gone through all kinds of, drama in my life. And I'm sure all of you guys have too. We all have our problems. But weight loss is so difficult because a lot of it's here, right? And maybe here, right? But it's all from here. So think about that. If you can actually hold your word, that confidence is going to go through the roof. Not just like in your own skin and how you look in your clothes. Yeah, that's great. But you're going to be like, damn, like I did it. And I didn't think I could. I failed for so many years. But now I know why I failed, because I reflected and I dug deep into my life and I know why I failed. I had all these preconceived notions. I had some things in my life, these thoughts that were really limiting me, and I'm overcoming them, right? Another benefit, you're going to end this cycle. You're going to end this like frustration, like, God, I can't get results. Then you get depressed and then you move on looking for the next solution. We're going to end this cycle. We're going to end this self-sabotage cycle. That's the benefit of making change. All right. And then you're going to find time in your life, right? Finding new time in your life. So when people tell me like, oh, well, I don't have time. I'm so busy. I work, I have kids. Everyone's busy, guys, but we make time for things that matter. End of story, right? So when you, in your heart, believe that this is important, right, you will find the time. And that's going to be a benefit. Like when you have more time in your life, who doesn't want more time in their life? God, like we're sure 25 hours in the day, right? All right, moving on. So now I'm going to go down to the costs of not making change. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about those a little bit here. So I want you to focus on these, okay? So I'm gonna backtrack for a second. When we're doing the sheet, I'm giving you some examples, we're gonna focus on the benefits of making changes. And then I want you to also focus your attention, guys, to the cost of not making changes. Because as I said earlier, there are so many costs of not making changes. When I talk to people, I ask them, like, well, what are the costs of not changing? Not financially, but like just all costs in your life. What is it costing you not to fix this? So for example, I hear health. Like, I'm pre-diabetic and diabetes runs in my family. And my doctor says if I don't clean up my act, I could become diabetic. Guys, like, and I don't think you understand, like, diabetes, if you haven't known much about diabetes, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, not type 1, that's completely different. But type 2, like, I mean, severe, like, that can cause like numbness in your limbs. I've known people that have had amputations. It can cause all sorts of problems in your body, and it can lead to all kinds of things. Like, there are so many studies out coming now about the impacts of sugar and carbohydrates and a poor diet on the brain, Alzheimer's, dementia. So your health is the cost of not changing. Your self-esteem, right? That lack of confidence, that is the cost of not changing. All right. Also, like, missed opportunities. I talk to people that don't like going out on dates. They'd rather stay home and not go out on a date or not go out with their friends. They don't want to be seen in public. They feel uncomfortable to wear clothes. It takes them an hour to get dressed in the morning, right? Like, what else could you do with an hour of your day? A million things, right? That's a missed opportunity, right? Because we're so trapped in our body and so frustrated with things that aren't working anymore. That's the cost of not changing and not fixing this, right? And so oftentimes people say, well, eating healthy is expensive, or I want to do a weight loss program, it's expensive. Think about the cost. What is this? These costs, guys, are so much higher than all those things I just mentioned to you. The cost of eating healthy, the cost of like having a plan that works for you. Right? That is something I want you to think about. What is the cost of not making change? Because when you understand this all makes sense. And that is when you're like, I'm going to crush my goal this month. I'm going to crush this year. And I am laser focused on my life. Okay. All right. So last part of my little worksheet here, and then we're pretty much done here, guys. I know this is going a little longer. I'm going to answer questions, I promise. So I see Emily and Stephanie joined. Hey guys, Sonia, it's okay. I'm glad you stayed for a little bit. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Benefits of not making change. Okay, so like I said, I want you to focus on the benefits of making change and the cost of not making change. But it does, play a role in the understanding or acknowledging, at least, the benefits of not making changes. Because what I want you to do is I want you to acknowledge these, and then I want you to say, okay, moving on. I get it, but I'm willing to do what it takes, right? So for example, like the benefits of not making changes, so the benefits of staying exactly where you are and not trying to, lose the weight or improve your health or, make some healthy habits, right? So the benefits of not doing that. So for example, you don't have to change, right? Change is scary. Change is not always easy. So you can just stay where you are, Notice how I say that. Obviously, I'm not excited to say that. And that's why, like, I don't want you to, like, fixate on these. I want you to acknowledge it. Like, yeah, like, I can say where I am. And some people choose that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to do. But I'm guessing you're here because you want change, right? You understand this, or you're getting to understand this. You can keep doing what you're doing, right? So you don't change, keep doing what you're doing. That's another option. Or you don't have to say no to yourself. Like, you can do what you want and not have to answer to anybody, right? That's a benefit of not making changes. But at the end of the day, like, does this make you happy? Do these benefits of not changing make you happy? No. And if we're not happy, like, what do we have in life? Right? Everything out there is designed to make us happy. We have entertainment, we have fashion, we have great food, we have vacations, we have children, we have family, we have, partners in life. We have jobs that we love, hopefully. I love what I do, but everything is designed in life to make us happy. So why on earth do you want to stay here? Why do you not want to change? Why do you want to wait until next year, all right, or another time to deal with your pain, deal with your frustration of not being happy in your body? Why is it worth doing that? It's not. And the reason why you're stuck right now is because, maybe that you're too fixated on this square, the benefits of not making changes. You're like, yeah, I can just stay where I am, but I know you don't want that. Okay, so that's why I say, like, I want you to do this. I don't want you just to watch this and be like, all right, Kristin, that sounds great. That makes complete sense. That's not what these trainings are for. Like, I want you to actually, like, do this now, and that you can even share your responses, or write all this stuff down and do it later. This can be the beginning of your self-reflection, because like I said, guys, once you reflect on your life and why you're so stuck and why you haven't made changes in your life, okay, you're going to have so much clarity. And that's when you're going to be more able and more open to invest your time, your energy, your money, whatever it takes. You do whatever it takes to get to be happy, right? And while health is motivating for a lot of people, I know health is not motivating for everybody. A lot of people don't have health problems, and so they're not so worried about creating healthy habits. But I know everybody in this group wants to be happy. And I want everyone to want to be healthy, but I know that's not always a reality. So, I can say, like, oh yeah, like eating Cheez-Its every day is not healthy, but some people don't care. They just, Cheez-Its make them happy. But do they really make you happy? They do for 10 minutes, but then what? What's the cost? Okay, what is the cost of, not making that change? What's the cost of, eating those burritos or those Cheez-Its? Okay, so I hope this was valuable to you guys. If you have any comments about it, you can comment below. I love when people respond to this. But I do help. This is a good visualization. This does help you predict the future, because you're like, okay, like I can see the benefits of making change. I can close my eyes and see, myself running around with my grandchildren, having more energy, and running around with my kids, like they're toddlers, and I'm so tired after work, but I want to have more energy for them, or I used to be so active and I just want to get back to that again. I want to enjoy working out again. I used to, and now I don't. I want you to think about that. Remember, close your eyes and visualize what it was like to feel that way. Okay? So this is one of the action steps, okay? Doing this little cost benefit analysis, okay, of making changes versus not staying in your drama. Who wants drama? Right? There's too much drama in the world. Your health and your weight loss should not be a big part of your drama. Okay, save it for other stuff. Save it for your mama, right? Is that the saying? And then the other whiteboard, Emily and Stephanie, I saw you just jumped on. I talked about the 3 steps to self-reflection. So number 1 is to look into the past to observe patterns. Number 2, look ahead and predict your future. And number 3, determine what must change to see results. And remember, guys, earlier I said you cannot skip steps 1 and 2. 95% of dieters, 95% of people that try to, lose weight, improve their health, they just do this. Okay, and that's why they fail, because they don't do that. Okay, so what I will do now is I'll take any questions that anybody has. Can you, oh, Beth, all right, can you go over the costs of making changes again? Absolutely. Okay, so the cost of making changes. So what I mean by that is you might have to plan ahead. Okay, you might have to carve out some time in your day to, make healthy meals, or look at, a restaurant menu and think of what you want to eat there, for example. Or you have to make time to exercise. You have to say no to eating Five Guys 4 days a week. And some people laugh at that and think, well, who does that? Guys, I know people that do that. So I'm not making this stuff up. Or I have to say no to soda, or, I have to, I'm trying to think of some other costs, I have to, join a gym. Some people think that you don't have to join a gym, guys. That's, secondary. But there are things that you don't necessarily want to do, but that they are important for you to get your goals. Okay, Beth, did that help you? Was that supportive? Answer your question? I hope so. Okay. Sometimes you have to, like I said, do things you don't want to do, because it's the right thing. Okay. And think about it, guys, like, a lot of us went to college for 4 years. Like, I mean, I love college. Like Penn State was great, you know, but like we had to do things like, you know, I had to go take all these classes and do all this stuff, spend all this money to get my degree so I could make a change in the world and have a career, you know. And, you know, did I want to do it? No, but, you know, I knew it was important. We do things that are important to us, and we make those sacrifices, right? So that's what this is. I would say the cost of making changes are quote unquote the sacrifices that you have to make, okay? And of course, like the goal is to, you know, stop looking at them as sacrifices and look at them as, you know, benefits of making changes, if you will. Okay, so I hope that answered that question, Beth. Are there any other questions that I can answer? Even, you know, any questions about your specific goals or anything nutrition related, anything mindset, exercise related, anything that could help you on your journey to, you know, greatness and crushing your October goals and ringing in the new year, you know, leaner than when you started the year and happier. You know, anything else out there that I can answer for you guys? If not, that's okay. But I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. I hope this was valuable to you. If you're new to the Nutrition and Mindset Support Group, I do weekly trainings. I do at least one a week. And I wanted to focus this week on, you know, one thing you could do to create lasting change in your life, you know, and as we approach the new year, and we have lots of plans coming up, you know, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, the new year, people tend to kind of push off their health and weight loss goals. And I want you to remember, guys, that there is never the perfect time to do it. There's always going to be something that comes up. There's always going to be an event, and it is completely possible, okay, for you to achieve your goals, right? No matter what time of the year it is. And it's better to do it now than have to wait until it's going to be a lot harder. And doing this right here is going to make you even more determined, okay, to achieve those goals. How determined you are determines your outcomes. And that's something I posted in the group last week. So you can go back and check that out. But, you know, like I said, if you're new to the group, welcome. If you've been a part of the group, thank you for being a part of it, and know that I'm always here to support you. And just so you guys know, like, if you are someone that is still struggling, okay, like you're really struggling, and if you need support and you just want like a crystal clear, you know, stress-free plan, you know, that works for you and helps you figure out like what is really holding you back. Like if you know, like, I need to do some self-reflection. Like you're convinced, like I need to do this, but like I just don't know where to start, you know, or I need someone to hold me accountable to do it because I'm not going to do it on my own. I hear that all the time, you know, like you need someone to kind of guide you through this process, you know, to really know what's holding you back. You know, you can just go to my website, guys, createmyweight.com/schedule, and just book a free call with me. And this is what I do. I get people crystal clear on what is holding them back. What is the real problem behind your weight loss struggle? You know, we get crystal clear on that, and then we get crystal clear on what you need to do to achieve your goals. And like, guys, not just lose the weight, right? But to keep it off for good. That is the key. That is like the prized possession. Okay. And that is the greatest gift you can give to yourself, is being able to do that. Because guys, that is the benefit of making change. You hold yourself to your word. I am going to create lasting change. I am worthy of this. I can do it. Yeah, I've suffered in the past and I have done a million things wrong, but I know I can do it right because I know the solution, right? You determine what must change to see results. Once you do this, right? Remember, you can't skip this. Once you do this, this is a no-brainer, right? That's a no-brainer, and you're ready to move forward. Okay, but you have to be ready to move forward. You have to be committed, not interested. So if you're committed, give me a call, createmyweight.com/schedule, or you can even drop a message. You know, you can message me and just let me know, like, if you're ready to really make some changes in your life, you know. And I hope this training was helpful. Take action. Don't just watch this and be passive, right? I know there's so much information on the internet right now, but what are you doing to transform, guys? Information does not lead to transformation, right? All right, that's it for me, guys. If there's no other questions, I'll go ahead and hop off here, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Happy October. Like I said, I know I'm not really wearing fall colors. I'm in Palm Beach County, so I wear this year-round pretty much. But have a great fall. You'll see me popping in here with more trainings, and have a great night, guys. Bye.